the last thing I expected when I saw that comic story and was trending was that it was it was Benny passing away. That is the last thing I expected. I'm sorry, this isn't the normal video that I would do on this channel, but I felt like Benny was more than just some text and saying, "Oh, that's so unfortunate. He was such a great guy." Um, Me and my husband knew him in real life, and when I did meet Benny, the first thing I noticed is he was so full of life. There is nothing that could. I've never seen Benny sad. I know he's ex-military and he dealt with a lot of things, but the one thing I remember about Benny is that he was full of fire and passion and strength, and he made everyone laugh. I remember Natalie, she was sweet and she made me laugh too. And the both of them together were just such a beautiful couple. But yeah, I was introduced to Benny through my husband, and he was goddamn, he's a force to be reckoned with. And every time it's not like we knew each other like super, super well. I think the last time my husband talked to him was 2 years ago. And every time I see him, or see his videos, I knew him before his videos. I think he was Eligible Monster, I think at the time, and he was doing gaming. So I knew him before the whole comic story thing took off. I didn't really follow him for that reason. So I know a lot of people know him because they're fans of him, but I wasn't a fan of Benny comic story, and I was a fan of Benny. Benny was a freaking boss. Like anyone the personality that you see in the YouTube videos is how he is in real life. Even better. He just makes sure that everyone's having a great time. You can be sad, and when you're in Benny's presence, it's like that just all goes away. It's impossible for you to feel sad or for you anything that's going on with your life that you're like, man, I can't deal with this right now. That just all goes away when you're around Benny. He was. I'm sorry I keep saying that because it doesn't feel real. I really didn't expect that. It still feels like it's not real to me. It still feels like he's here. And when I'm reliving the moments that we all shared with him, it feels like he's still here. And I don't even know what to say. Um I really don't know what to say. I'm bad at this stuff. Like, I'm better at it if I'm in real life, and I can't be, and that hurts. I can't go to his funeral. I can't hug Natalie. I'm glad that he left a legacy for people so that he never dies, because he always has that. I can't imagine what Natalie's going through right now, and I'm sorry. But I know Benny can't hear me, but I know his family can. And thank you for sharing your son with everyone. I know it sounds cliche, but you raised a good man. Despite everything that happened to him and everything that he went through, you would never know it. You would never know. Because he was present, and it was always about making people feel good. He literally was the life of the party. He outshone everyone wherever he went. He wasn't just big and tall in real life. He was big and tall in his personality and the impact. And his impact was so great that even though I hadn't seen him IRL many, many years, I still remember that. Every time I see a video of his trending or something, I tell my husband, I'm like, oh, look at Benny such and such. Remember when Benny this? And we tell stories about him. He tells stories about him because my husband knew him before I did. But the last thing I ever expected was this, because I'm thinking, nah, Benny Benny got blown up and he's still here. Nothing can take out Benny. Damn. Well, whether there's an afterlife or not, um, Benny's rocking it over there. Everyone, I can imagine him walking into a room in the afterlife and being like, yo, what's up, everybody? I'm like, hey. It's just the kind of person Benny was. I knew that much about him. And I appreciate that he left that impact on my life. So weird when you look at his comic historian videos and he's all, storytelling Mr. Ballinish. But in real life, the other thing I loved about Benny, everything is a joke. Everything was a joke. Like, you could count on him. It doesn't matter what you say. He would always be cracking a joke. And you're like, really, Benny? It's impossible not to laugh whenever he was around. Like, he just made a joke about everything. He didn't care. It was just, I love that he was so carefree. He didn't give a fuck. He was just like, I said what I said. And you just can't help but laugh. You cannot help but laugh. And I will always remember that about him. That's how you know that's a real person right there, because the little bit of interaction that I had, whether it was over the phone or I heard him talking to my husband or, in real life when we were going to Comic-Con, whatever it was, I remember that. It never faded. It feels like yesterday. And I thank him for that. That will always be how I see him in my head. Always. So in my head, he's always alive. Not just through the work that he did, but because of that impact that he left. He was such a larger than life person that my father, they never met personally or anything, but I told my parents about him. My dad knows who he is. My dad is broken up about it because of the way I talked about Benny. And I'm sure that I'm not the only one. All the people he worked with, it's impossible to forget. Benny's one of those people, you have these forgettable faces and these forgettable personalities. Benny's not like that. When you meet Benny the first time, you never forget him. Even if you just met him for a minute, you would never forget him. The way he carried himself, you could still see that he was a soldier at heart, but he was so freaking carefree and funny and spirited and fiery and sweet. And I know that he loved Natalie so freaking much. Oh my God. That was his princess. So I can imagine how she must be feeling right now. So, for any of you that are watching, I don't know. I mean, I'm only one of the many people that he impacted. I'm sure there are plenty of other people that could tell you who Benny was. But I felt like I just wanted to say that because he's more than just comic historian. No, I grew up on him. He's more than just, oh, that poor YouTuber. And then the next day they jump on to something else. And maybe I feel that way because it's more personal to me because I actually knew him. Like, seen him, touched him, saw him. Like, he was more than just this voice behind visual graphic images on YouTube. He was a person. And he was a good person. He was a good man. He's more than just a fucking post. And I hope anybody that comes across this that, I don't know what I'm hoping for. I just wanted people to know that little sliver of something that he gave to me, to people outside of himself, people who knew him outside of YouTube. I just want people to know that he was more than that. I know Natalie she's a very private person, and I'm kind of similar, so just from what I know about her, she's amazing. She's so strong. She's gone through a lot too, and I know that she's going to want a lot of privacy, so I don't know if she would ever come out and just give everybody details. Please don't ask. But I also want her to know that too. I mean, she probably already knows because she was there, but I'm sorry, Natalie. I think it hurts more because I can't be there physically. And it's not like we were super best friends either. We knew each other, but it's not like, we had tea at each other's houses or anything, but it doesn't matter because they made that much of an impact. I just hope that people will remember his life. And he's not really ever truly gone, I guess, because he left so much light behind. Yeah. Anyway, that's all I have to say.